Welcome to episode 36 of PuckPod by BD Sports. I'm here with David and Christian. Let's not ask them how their day was. Let's just get right into it. So the biggest Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm
But
sad it's not the Leafs.
It's a good
yeah,
answer.
uh, can't go wrong with that answer.
I,
Yo, that already feels like so long ago, though, eh?
I
When,
know.
it
when did that
does.
happen?
It's been
What
like
day
what,
was that?
a month? Has it been a
No,
month?
no, 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 no. I mean, like since they won the cup, and when we're
Oh,
talking right now, that's what
It was like 4 days.
that's what
yeah.
I'm talking about.
Was
Yeah,
that
They-
what,
Their
Tuesday or Wednesday?
their parade is actually today at 9 p.m.
at 9
Really?
p.m.
So it's
our
6 p.m.
time,
their
or
time.
yeah,
Like
yeah, okay,
RPM, like 9 p.m. our time, so like 6 their
yeah,
time. Yeah.
dude.
That's something that's kind of not odd, but like something that I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about a nighttime parade because
I like it.
we
Why?
normally
For
see like
Vegas, it's like
Oh man.
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
That's
right, Dave. It
awesome.
wouldn't work in many other places, and I don't think we've seen it been done in many other places,
Well,
right?
I honestly, off the top of my mind, I don't think I've ever seen a city
Yeah.
because like we had the Raptors parade, right? Like that will be the point of reference here for parades, because we actually got to experience a parade somehow. I don't know. I still don't like that
It's a
wasn't
fever
even
dream,
real.
eh?
It literally is a fever dream. On it, and also 4-year anniversary of that parade because I was down there and I got my
Today?
memories. Yeah, it's today.
Oh wow, let's
Yeah,
go.
turned into a scary time by the end, but we're gonna
Yeah,
leave it at that.
yeah.
But it was a good time all around. I'm intrigued to see like how it turns out because like you don't when you think of
I
parades,
have
even in
I already have a
general, like
prediction
I,
already.
do you
Someone's gonna
think of
get
parades at night?
no, but like it's Vegas 1 and 2. I have like someone's gonna get Grealished or like Byrammed, like something like you see on like social media. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
someone's
you
gonna be on an
think so?
absolute bender,
Oh,
like
dude.
or
I heard apparently when the Blues won, that Barbashev fell off like one of the trucks or whatever. So Barbie's gonna go 2 for 2. That's what he's gonna do over there, man.
Was
Yeah,
he not the one who they like he fell somebody fell off, I think, or maybe
I
they
think it
were
was
just
him.
running to catch up to the bus and
that's
security like
that's
almost
Byram.
tackled them?
That's
That was
Byram. Yeah,
Byram.
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
that's Byram last year. That
Yeah.
was a good video. Yeah. Okay, if you had to place bets on who's gonna be the guy, who's gonna be the guy who's on an absolute bender, who's just like, I guess the Raptors comparable would have been Marc Gasol. I think Marc
Yeah.
Gasol was the guy who was just gone during the Raptors parade. If I had to place a bet, honestly, I'm going either Kessel or I'm going with Eichel. Those are my two. Those would be my
Eichel
two
was my
bets.
pick as
I
well.
have
I was
Michael.
Yeah,
thinking
Yeah,
Eichel.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
trying to think now, like
consensus.
I don't know. Mark Stone celebrates really hard. Does
I
he party very hard though? I
That's a
don't
good
know.
question. I
That's
feel
a
like
very
no. I
good
feel like he's
question.
more of a Captain Serious. I feel like he'd be like the
Yeah.
dad in the group where listen, he's slamming back beers, but he's not gone. You right?
Yeah.
That's
I think
that's Mark
so.
Stone. That's
I
Mark
feel that.
Stone. Yeah. I do have to say real quick, if there is any take that I have to like put all of my faith behind and has come to fruition, it's the fact that I said I love players that celebrate like Mark Stone because those are the players that win. And
And
Jesus Christ, he didn't have. I was pumping it up. I was like, we're gonna see Mark Stone give the GOAT Stanley Cup hoist. It was a good hoist, but it was nothing special. Like it
I
wasn't
I have
flowing with
one
the rest
complaint.
of
takes
them.
that cake.
I have one
Yeah,
complaint
the Obi
about
one is good. The
yeah
Bork one is good. What's
I
up,
have one
Brian?
complaint about the Stone hoist, and it's such a
Too
nitpick.
short.
No, scarf. Why is he wearing a scarf in it?
So
Like,
I
Yeah,
was wondering if that was the fact that I wonder if that was an NHL push thing where they're
I
like,
think
you have to
so.
wear our stupid fanatics thing. Because I noticed it on other players too, specifically the fact that they had the ends turned over so you could see the NHL logo and the fanatics logo.
It's
So I don't know if they
100% a
had much
ploy.
choice.
It's a
Yeah.
ploy. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know how
so
much blame I put on him. We
I
might be seeing
I
that going forward, to be
I
honest, which sucks.
strongly like I can't see Mark Stone is not the type of person to be like that looks good. I'm putting it on.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
he's more of
Yeah.
like the exactly like you said, Captain Serious. He's not worried about like all that external type of stuff. It's not like he's going in there and like saying, "Let me wear the scarf for when we." You know
No
when I
chance.
hoist the cup. No, that's a marketing ploy right there.
Yeah.
so
So
I do have comparable, and it's such a like you remember the World Cup that we just had? Messi lifted the World Cup in that like gown. Like, why are you wearing like? Why do you need
Oh,
that?
dude, sports washing, man.
And no, but that's one, and then two, like the scarf, it just ruins the image, and that's gonna be the image for like that Mark Stone image is gonna be the picture like at T-Mobile Arena for the next
That's a good
how many
point.
freaking years?
That's
Like,
a
come
really good
on.
point.
Like, how many people are gonna have Mark Stone, like in Vegas, are gonna have Mark Stone on their lock screen? You know what I mean? Or on their home screen on their phone or on their laptop, and that's what they're gonna see.
So I feel like we're giving the argument for why the NHL did this. Like the NHL's
yeah.
like, yes, guys,
I could completely,
Yeah.
like Brian said as well, with the Messi thing as well. Like, they did it because, you know, it was the first time it was in a Middle Eastern country. They did it as a show of respect, basically, for the host nation, whether you agree with
But
it or not,
come
because like it
on.
goes, because like the Messi stuff, that stuff goes a lot deeper than just putting on the traditional
I know,
like clothing.
but
You know what I mean? Like, it goes deeper than just wearing a scarf in the NHL, but they go at, like, it's such a comparable because they, at the end of the day, it's just about getting eyes on it.
Now-
You know
now
what I
watch
mean?
this.
Such a subtle thing, but like a casual fan probably doesn't even think twice about it. But if you're someone
But if
who
you start up a
cares
hockey
deeply.
podcast, you know what I mean?
Now-
you probably
You're gonna get us
recognize these.
noticing, right?
Yeah.
Now I have one
Yeah.
more. Now I have one more thing that like just to throw at that. So the scarf.
Okay.
So I'll be generous to you guys. I'll use you guys as example. Austin Matthews lifts the Stanley Cup. He's captain now. By the way.
So generous. I feel so great for you saying that, Brian.
So
Wow.
he's wearing this scarf, okay, and it's
Yeah.
covering a very important logo, a very important company that's paid to be on this shirt, the Milk logo. Like,
Milk.
how does that not piss off the sponsor? I don't know.
Well, I think we've already established in past episodes that the NHL doesn't think things through, especially for marketing. So I don't think they got that far, right? I think we're a step ahead of them in that process there. I do have to say, and I said this when you were bringing up complaints about Mark Stone's hoist, and this is just a general Stanley Cup complaint now. The individual laps that players take feels a lot shorter than it used to be. I really do miss when they would do a full damn lap.
I remember that Caps. I was watching the Caps one in particular just for Brian, and that felt like it took. And
forever.
Listen, I love it. If you work your way to get 82, you know, you go through 82 games, you get 16 wins in the playoffs to get the right to hoist that thing, you deserve at least a full minute with that thing in your hands, just hoisting it above your head to everybody in the stadium, not just to like one little section,
especially at home, right?
I think, I have a feeling, this just came into my head right now. Tell me what you guys think about this. Do you guys remember that little incident? I think we alluded to it in one of our chats about Vegas as well, with a certain fan. Do you guys think maybe the NHL looked at that and said, you know, to avoid stuff like that happening in the future, especially because they were going back to Las Vegas, like you know, that team could be winning the cup. Who knows what the fans? Who knows what the fans are thinking about doing? What if somebody wants to be a copycat, basically?
I have a better answer.
What?
Like the TV block, like the section, is saying, "Hurry up! We need to get the next program going," or
that's
we need to run the ad or something.
That
like
is
that.
I really hope not. Those are both terrible.
Does ESPN or TNT or whoever's showing the NBA finals, would they tell the Denver Nuggets to wrap up their thing that early?
Absolutely
That's
not.
shameful if that's the case.
I'm just thinking about this too now. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think about MLB, but definitely NBA and NFL. Who's the first person we hear from after a championship win?
The owner.
The owner.
Ugh, god awful.
Right?
They
can make time for the owner's speech, right?
Yeah.
And I think even MLB, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't remember, honestly, MLB wise, if they get the owner to speak, maybe not.
I think hockey is the only North American sport because hockey does it where they give it to the team, the captain first. European football also does that. That's the one thing that I have to say the NHL does right, and they've done right all these years. Like, they could have folded to like the pressure of saying, like, you know, this is our, like, Larry Tannenbaum, if the Leafs ever, God forbid, won a cup, he could have said, I want this moment. He already had his moment with the NBA. We saw it in 2019,
And honestly,
right?
though, I'm pretty sure he passed it up. Like he said, I'm pretty sure Kawhi or Kyle was
Yeah.
going to give it to him. And I'm almost positive that he said, like, you first. Like, I'm here,
Yeah.
but you guys first. Pretty sure.
Yeah, like he did. I remember
For
he
the actual
did
hoist,
his
I'm talking about,
interview.
not the
He did
speech.
his the interview. Yeah, like the interview
Yes.
is the first thing that they
Yes.
do. But he did do that. But I do remember, I think it might have been to Kyle because Kyle was the seasoned vet on that team at that point. Yeah, it's just one thing that the NHL, that's probably the only thing the NHL does better than the NFL and the NBA and
Yeah.
MLB.
And listen, still we're nitpicking about things like the scarf, the amount of time that each player gets with the lap. We talk about this because we understand that the NHL does the Stanley Cup right. They do the ceremony right. The trophy itself is beautiful. Everything is great. Let's not lose that magic. Let's not water it down with the subtle advertising and the lack of a full lap for players. I think you got to keep those in to keep the special spark that watching the Stanley Cup being raised has. Because honestly, like I don't remember the last time I didn't watch the Stanley Cup being raised. It's it feels like a must be there moment for
I know
any
the last time
hockey
I didn't
fan.
watch it. The last time I didn't watch it was 2017 and 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Fair
But
enough.
you're on the right train here. You're on the idea of keeping it positive and special. I also just wanted to shout out the Vegas Golden Knights for giving, like, Mark Stone got the hoist, obviously, captain, but who got it after and after and after and after?
That was really good.
Yes.
That is special.
Should have seen that coming, yeah.
It went right to, did it go to Marshy first, like Conn Smythe winner first?
Pretty sure. Actually, no. Riley Smith, I'm pretty sure, was the first
Riley
guy.
Smith
That was
got
the
it first.
handoff
You are
because I was
right.
trying to think.
You're
right?
right.
Because where was it? I'm pretty sure you could have bet on that.
We were
right?
putting
like, where's
bets.
the
I think
handoff?
in our group chat we were putting bets
right.
down. I know in my, like, in another
can't
friend
remember who I
group
said.
we were all putting bets down as well, like to see like who was going to get the first handoff. And at first I was like, maybe it's going to be Jack. I thought Jack.
I would have thought Jack.
Of the story, but
Yes.
then it went to Riley Smith, and I was like, okay, that makes.
I thought it was
makes
gonna
a
be
lot
William
more
Karlsson.
sense.
I don't
But,
see.
like,
I would have
yeah.
thought Marchie. Like if they're gonna go misfits first, I would assume Marchie,
The Conn
maybe
Smythe
Carlson
winner.
and Smith. Yeah. Guys, I think it would be super sick if the Golden Knights did a alternate jersey one year, and instead of saying like Golden Knights on it, said misfits. Like there is some teams that they go with something on their jersey that isn't even their team. Specifically more in like NBA or MLB, you'll have like sayings on their
Cream
jersey.
City,
Like,
baby. The Milwaukee
the
Bucks.
Wizards, I think, had like district or something. Like
Yeah.
So I think it would be really cool for a Golden Knights jersey that said Misfits on it because we've called them that for so long.
Those those NBA city jerseys are like
some of them are a little.
Yeah, they're comparable to the reverse retros, right? Like that's
sure.
If we got, maybe next year you retire, like, or whenever Fanatics comes in, they want to retire the retro type of theme and maybe kind of look towards the future type of thing. Like the NBA city jersey is kind of like representing the city. If the NHL kind of wants to incorporate something like that, I'm totally here for it.
So the MLB did City Connect as well, right? Because they kind of just did a full-on copy of the NBA. I'm trying to think to myself which like jersey gimmick did I like the best of any of the leagues. I do think reverse retro was really high up there. Low key, I really enjoyed, and this is coming from someone who doesn't really care about NFL, but the Color Rush jerseys, I really liked Color Rush stuff. And I think Color Rush stuff would look really cool in the NHL too, where you just go the same color jersey, pants, sock, and then you go bright gloves, and you might have to go like white gloves, something like that. I think it could look really
those look so good on, like, if you have like a vibrant pop, like I could imagine like the Habs,
Dolphins, Seahawks.
Yeah,
those are like the ones that
Seahawks, like highlighter green, dude. If the Dallas Stars do a highlighter green set, oh man, that would look terrifying.
So
it would, yeah.
So hockey has the benefit of playing on a white canvas. It's like ice, right?
Good
so
point.
It would stand out, and hockey's also the fastest game. So just imagine how cool that would look.
And we've always been talking about like more color on color matchups, right? Because that 2014 Winter Classic, Leafs versus Detroit, is the one that everyone brings up. That we need more of that. The blue on red.
Blue versus red, baby.
We do need more of that. We definitely need more of that.
Okay, let's get into a little bit more hockey stuff. We always say copycat league in the NHL. Is this the formula, you guys think? Like,
So I can't remember if I said this last episode, but out of all the recent winners, I feel most inspired by what the Golden Knights did with their roster. Like I feel like this is a really good model that they have, and also something that's achievable for almost any team. How many guys did they have on this roster that was drafted? One, Nick Hague, only dude. Now there is guys that I can't remember if they like Kolazar, for example. I don't know if he was a guy that he wasn't drafted by them, but where the hell did they get him? I don't know. I don't remember what other team he might have played for. He might have been like a
Was he in a trade?
signing. I have no
I don't think
recollection,
so.
man. I feel like he might have been like a signing, then he played with their AHL affiliate and then became a Golden Knight, but maybe not
Maybe.
drafted by them.
Mhm.
So there's guys that like are Golden Knights through and through over other teams, but it's mostly trades and free agency from this team. And I think that's something you can look at as other teams around the league, depending on where you're situated, because it might be hard to attract free agents. But if you're a team, I mean, the team they beat, Florida, it's a really replicable model. And they honestly didn't do it too differently either. A lot of their acquisitions were trades. So I do think it's a model that can be adapted and probably with decent success going forward by other teams. It's basically just have a bunch of dudes who are over 6 feet, make sure they can still skate. Specifically on your defense, make sure you've got giants, like gigantic dudes on that back end. And if you got to go cheap in net, just really pray that you can find a diamond in the rough. And Vegas did it because they had like 5 bullets to shoot. Almost all of them hit, honestly. Thompson was good in the regular season. Brossoit helped him in round one. Aiden Hill took off where Brossoit left off. I think it's a replicable formula.
100%.
so I did look. Nicholas Hague was traded for a second round pick from Columbus.
No,
Pretty good value.
no, but that must have been for the Nick Hague must have been
He
before
was
the
the
draft.
only
If they
draft
drafted
pick,
him.
though.
Oh, no,
They
sorry,
dra-
Kolsar.
Oh,
Oh,
so
okay.
Kolazar
Yeah.
was a second round pick from
Like
Columbus,
no,
really?
like they traded for it. Like they traded a second round pick for him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. I have no recollection of Kolazar playing
don't
games.
remember
He
that.
must have been maybe he was a straight up prospect. Maybe he hadn't played at that point. I got another interesting
Probably.
one for you guys. You guys remember where Carrier was playing before Vegas?
I
I just think
is he
I
a Blue
think
Jacket?
Yeah, Columbus.
no, because think about he was so I'm pretty sure he was a draft pick, like an expansion draft pick.
Yeah,
So he came from a team, and we know that Columbus was
William
Carlson,
Karlsson.
right? So
Oh yeah.
I had to think long and hard about
Was
this
it
one,
Florida?
and I didn't. Not Florida, no, because Florida was Marcus O'Reilly Smith,
Marshall.
right?
Oh,
I know
man.
no, dude. It feels so long ago.
San
Give you guys one more
Jose.
guess. That sounds like a good guess. Like I could see him in a San Jose jersey, but
Was it
no,
Anaheim?
no, because you're thinking Delorier, the other
Oh, I
EA.
am. You are
Okay,
right.
so Atlantic.
I feel like
Division.
Anaheim has had
Atlantic.
at least one
Yeah.
person on that, like, just big bruising player.
French bruiser.
Yeah, for like the past 10 years.
I know, dude. I said this in the chat at one point. I said we need Carrier, Frederick, Delorier as a line on some team.
Bring
that's
back
up.
I'll go
Francois
Boston. I'm sorry.
Beauchemin as well.
I'll go Buffalo. I'll just throw a curveball. I don't know.
Oh,
It
Buffalo's
is
a good
Buffalo.
show.
It is
Okay.
Is
Buffalo.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Do you guys have any? I have zero.
I had no
recollection
idea.
of Will
Dude, they
Carrier
could have
on
used them
Buffalo.
this year, that's for sure. Man.
And so, how much talk has been about? Like, there's been posts about how many players from one of the Sabres teams, like one of the awful teams, are Cup champions. It's like O'Reilly, Eichel now. You can throw Carey. I mean, he might have been on that team too. Like, there's a bunch of. I think it's like 7 or 8 guys from that team have gone on to win Stanley Cups, and obviously none of them with the Sabres. So
there's another big one I think that we're missing. I
We
know
are
what you're
probably
talking
missing
about
one,
because I think I saw something about that.
So,
maybe
last-
Laner counts.
last episode, David talked about how he really appreciates like the corporation style of Vegas, like heads roll, people need to go, right? Are you guys still on that boat? Like,
Yes.
do you guys still? Yeah.
I mean,
Are
it's
they
hard
in-
to fault it after they win, right?
Because like I thought about it, right? And this is the second core that George McPhee has built, and I feel like I'm attached like to a veteran Backstrom era, and if like your franchise star Marc-Andre Fleury gets shipped off, all those jerseys that people bought, everything like that, it's just kind of just gone. But then again, they
Well,
won, right? So
yeah, and also we have the Raptors, right? And that's the example there too, right? DeRozan or Kawhi. As much as it was the Lowry and DeRozan era, man, winning really changes what the era was
yes,
when you look back at it. Now we refer to I think honestly refer to the DeRozan Lowry era now as LeBronto.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is, right?
Yeah,
It's
that was the
two
meme
straight
era
runs to
for
the
them.
conference finals and getting destroyed by the Cavs. So
yes.
winning fixes everything. Yeah.
It does.
Okay. Is that enough for Vegas, or do you guys want to go? You guys have a
Well,
little
I
bit more.
think the last thing we could say is, man, listen, hats off to Florida for getting there.
All right.
But man, did they look gassed in that fifth game? I don't think, dude, you could have asked 100 avid NHL watchers what the prediction for that the score of that final game would have been. I guarantee you it would have been 95% like a 3-2 or a 2-1. I did not expect them to go off for
9.
it was 9 goals, but it was like 6 goals by the second
Real
period.
quick.
Yeah, like oof.
It was hype though to watch. Like if you're a Vegas fan, that was like that's euphoria because you're watching the game knowing that it's in the bag and you're just enjoying every single goal.
What's that like?
Oh.
What is that like? I can't imagine.
6 long years they had to win games. 6 long years.
Oh my god. Out of 0, dude. Out of 0.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
okay,
god.
I'll end Vegas thoughts by just mentioning their free agents. Barbashev, Aiden Hill, Brossois. I believe they have I think they've got 8.5 million cap space. So I don't know how possible it's going to be to get even 2 of those 3. Specifically if you're doing Barbashev plus a goalie to get under 8.5. It's gonna be a tough fit.
I don't think Barbashev is resigning. I think he kind of I think the playoff run he had priced himself out of Vegas, and he's gonna get
stupid money.
He's gonna
like
make
Louis Eriksson money.
He's gonna get stupid
He's
money.
Gonna make a bag, dude. Good
so
for
I
him.
think I can't remember if it was LeBrun or Friedge. They have him right now. Milstein is his agent, so I think everyone's really familiar with Milstein because he's got so many Russian free agents that there's probably a guy on your team, whoever you cheer for. I think they have him pegged right now in between 5.5 and 5.75. Give me that all day.
That's a good deal.
That's a very good deal.
So Vegas was looking to resign him before the playoffs, and the number that they threw at him, I believe, was 4 mil. Ooh, so and Barsha was like, I'll wait on that one. I think there's a chance he resigns, but what I will say is he will not resign before July 1st. He will hit free agency, see what's out there, and then he'll decide.
He's taking a dip in the water.
Waters. Absolutely.
I could see.
You know what? Good for him. He earned it.
I could see him going for like.
I'm a fan for life after what. And he already won a cup in St. Louis, but he was not what he was on this run. Yeah, dude, the 2 fingers up thing. I love that video. That was an incredible video. And he looks around, he's like, "Oh crap! Oh, these guys only won 1 cup. Okay, yeah, first cup in Vegas. Yeah, I love that."
He forgot. He had a little Freudian slip.
I feel like he was looking for Petro.
Yeah,
I feel like he was looking for Petro. Is Petro doing it? And maybe he saw the Petrangelo wasn't doing it. He's like, "Okay, yeah, what?"
He looked to his right. He's like, "Wait, that's not Ryan O'Reilly. What's going on here? Hold on, where am I?"
10 out of 10 video. 10 out of 10.
Oh man.
Okay, let's finish up.
Last thing on Barbashev, dude. I'll be completely honest. I think he gets. I'm gonna put out a bold prediction here. I say 7x7. I don't know where, but I think he's gonna get 7x7. I think somebody's gonna fork up that type of money to get his services. I think
that was my guess too.
Yeah, I think 7x7 is like it seems a little bit pricey.
Like when I said Louis Eriksson, I literally meant like Louis Eriksson.
What did he get? 6x6?
No, the same thing. 7x7.
Was it 7x7? Oh my god.
The guy who always comes to mind for me is Nichushkin because last year got 6.125 by 8. And so straight up, if you had to choose one of the players, they're fully healthy, you get them for a season and a playoff run, who are you choosing?
Nichushkin.
Yeah. So it's
I like
Barbashev is available more, right? He's there more. He's not injured as often. So that's what you're paying for.
That's availability.
A tough one.
That is a tough one.
The difference maker is that this year the UFA list stinks. And because of that, it inflates the value of whoever. Yeah.
I feel like honestly, Barbashev might be number 1 now, like over Orlov. Yeah. I think just because of this playoff run and what the interest he's going to attract. If
Yeah.
I had to make a list, I'd probably have him at number 1 right now.
Yeah, I'd say so too. For me, the 1, 2, 3 are all Russian. In the sense that it's
Barbashev, Orlov, and
Tarasenko.
Mm.
I know
Mm,
you can say you can argue Bertuzzi, but
I
like
argue Bertuzzi over
yeah,
Tarasenko, but I see where you're coming from there though.
yeah.
Um,
Well, let's move on to our next topic. One of these the team that's probably gonna give one of these awful free agents a long contract. We have the Vancouver Canucks buying out
oh man,
OEL Oliver Ekman Larson.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in Vancouver Canucks because I've brought this up before. I cheer for if I had to put an allegiance in one team in every division, it's Philly in the Metro, it's St. Louis in the Central, and it's Vancouver in the Pacific.
Time
And
to
it feels
jump.
like Philly and Vancouver are doing a switcheroo. I'm starting to get a little bit more belief in Philly and Danny Briere's vision. My God, what the hell is going on in Vancouver? You goddamn idiots. Just eat the money for the couple years. For 4 years, just eat the money instead of having money on the book for 8 damn years. You shouldn't be retooling. You should not be trying to win. At least not the way that they're going about it. I don't know. They're gonna have to put the proof in the pudding for me, but I'm not a believer in their vision right now. Um, if you really, really needed that cap space, it would have actually made more sense to trade the better player in Garland to anywhere, offload him. That's 5 million, and you can do a lot with that. I don't like the move at all. I don't.
I don't know. Good for OEL. He gets his lottery ticket, literally $20 billion up front or something ridiculous like that. I don't know the exact number, but the second biggest loser in this is definitely the Arizona Coyotes. Did you guys see that they're gonna lose a retained spot, like a retention spot for the next like 8 years?
8 years.
It's
Yeah,
8 years,
for the
yeah,
length of the
which is how long
contract.
the buyout is for Vancouver as well.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's I don't think Arizona obviously ever saw that coming,
No,
or else they maybe wouldn't have retained. It's crazy that we actually. Well, I don't know how crazy it is that we haven't seen this before. The other possibility of seeing this is actually in Ottawa with Matt Murray. In the event that we can't find a taker and they want to buy out Murray, you'd have the exact same situation going on. Obviously, only over 2 years, not 8, right? I think a team would be okay with 2 years of whatever 0.500K, whatever. Okay, this is a not even a sizable amount for Arizona, but the length is what does them in because they're a team who's been taking money on for draft picks at every trade deadline that we can think of. They're not going to be able to retain now. That's a big deal.
and you know what? The whole idea of taking on OEL or like just like that idea of the trade, like it was like the only Arizona W in the past like 10 years. Because like they took Beagle at Louis Erickson and Roussel or whatever, but then
I
like it was only 1 year having
still
the cap
do
on.
not get that trade. You literally
I think
had
it's a terrible
Beagle,
trade for
Roussel.
everybody.
That was awful on Vancouver's part from the start because you have those guys, like all three of those guys were on expiring contracts. You could have just
Yes.
bit
But
the
that's the
bullet for
thing
one
though.
more
They went
year.
all in for 1 year and instead can't be all in for 8 years.
For literally a decade. Like
But that's the thing. They got in these bad contracts they only had to hold them for literally 8 months. Legitimately 8 months, and they got a first round pick or something like
And
that
that
out
was
of it.
Jim Benning at the time. That was a Jim Benning move.
ugh.
Yes. And
Yeah.
like so that for me was an Arizona W because they just like cleared all this cap space. But now 8 years, it's looking for like an L now. I don't know.
L for everybody. This is the rare lose-lose trade. Okay, so on
Yeah.
the OEL front, because he's a free agent now, I
He's gonna sign with
have
Tampa
no
Bay.
idea.
He's gonna sign with Tampa Bay on league min
Yeah,
and then they're gonna win the cup or something like that.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna sign a league min with I don't know, name a rising team.
So I think because I'm
Ottawa.
thinking back to when he was traded and his no trade
Boston.
list, he
It's
only
Boston.
gave up yeah. That's what I think.
And
I think I'll end up in Boston, and it makes sense because they have a decent contingency of Swedish players. Olmark, Hampus Lindholm. We throw OEL in there. I could definitely see that. I think that
if
makes
they
sense.
keep Allmark, because Boston's got
There
an
is rumblings
underrated.
now, eh?
There's an underrated cap constraint problem over there. They've got 5 mil, I think, in space. They've got 2 RFAs in Swayman and Trent Frederick to sign, plus also I think it's like 6 or 7 UFAs, including like Bergeron, Krejci,
Orlov,
Bertuzzi,
Hathaway, Bertuzzi.
Orlov, Hathaway. Like that's a big chunk of their team, and they've only got 5 mil. So they might, like, their hand just might be forced to make some trades, and it seems like Allmark's
So
got the value
he would.
to.
I don't know if that's the move.
I don't know if that's the move. I
Yeah.
think that's the problem. I don't think it's the move, but it might be the move that might be the
Sure.
only move that they could make, basically.
I don't think it matters just based on the fact that I think if Bergeron and Krejci coming back, they're literally gonna make 1 mil. They're gonna do we're gonna help this team with their issues situation. I can totally see both players saying that.
100%.
Well, it's really unfortunate that they cap strapped their team this year, because the reason they're in this conundrum is $5
Last
million
year.
in dead space because the bonuses that carried
Yeah.
over. So now they're gonna have a change of heart and say, yeah, well, now we'll sign the 1 mil. Would have helped maybe
I can see
last
it.
year.
Yeah, but
Their problem contracts are Mike Riley, who barely plays for the team, makes $3 million to play for the Providence Bruins. He's the big one, and then like maybe Forbort, who I think makes like $3 million as a 5-6.
Yeah,
those are the guys that they're gonna probably try to move or maybe buy out. I don't know how much space that's gonna buy them. If it's gonna be enough to deal with all these guys, they're gonna have to let some guys go for sure. I don't see any way they bring back Orlov. Hathaway, they're going to try. Yeah, Bertuzzi, I don't see either. Those are the two. Hathaway, I could give an outside shot, probably a 50-50 shot, honestly.
Or you know what? They'll move like someone like Taylor Hall, like someone who's like makes a sizable amount of money, but like isn't a face
Taylor
guy.
Hall's what makes them kind of special though. Like he's their fifth best forward, fourth best, right? I think he's what makes them special.
Probably best suited for him as well.
I just
like I don't think he's like he was drafted with all that. You get drafted with the first overall pick and you have all the hype behind you to be the first overall pick. I don't know if he was ever destined to be that type of guy. I think he just suits a lot better on.
He was briefly too, though, right? Like he won a Hart Trophy, right?
He did.
So
and that's true.
Like staying with Boston Jersey. Though, I counted them out last year, and they definitely proved me wrong. I'm not doing that again. I'm not saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. I'm just. I just brought Boston up as the fact that they're gonna have to do a little bit of gymnastics in order to get over the hump. Whatever team we saw this year is not gonna be like they're not running it back. Basically, is what I'm saying. I think we're gonna see some changes out of Boston this year, and it's slowly but surely that. Everybody, that old guard is kind of gonna get cleared out. Basically,
everybody that wants to be back will find a way to be back on that team. That's something that we know. And everybody that like is locked up are like the key pieces, like Pasternak, McAvoy, and whoever else.
Zaka, they got now Lindholm.
Okay. I do have some armchair GM trades. If you guys want to get through, they're all Leafs trades, and they're all made by Leafs fans. Surprisingly. Okay.
It means they're gonna be terrible.
Yeah. The first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one's to Calgary. And you guys are trading Timothy Liljegren, William Nylander, and a 5th round pick for Noah Hanifin, Andrew Mangiapane, and a 2nd round pick.
So I just have to always talk about the 5th round pick. That always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh.
It's obligatory. That's what it is. It's the trade value to make it balance, like in the NHL games.
So Willie and Liljegren for Hanifin and Mangiapane and the 2nd. So I really don't care about that 2nd right there. And you take Willie and Liljegren, I think, all day over Hanifin and Mangiapane.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. Mangiapane is making 5.8 mil. It's not worth that last season. I know he had a great year before, but he's coming off of a down year. He's a buy low candidate. I don't think I would make that move.
Yeah. I will
especially William Nylander after a 40 goal was 90. Do you have
87 points, I think?
Yeah.
I will say
season. Fantastic season.
I will say it also does say if Nylander refuses to resign. So
so that's the big what if.
Well, and I would assume that anyways, and I'd also assume if it's contingent on Willie wanting to resign in Calgary. And Hanifin willing to resign in Toronto. I don't think that trade goes down unless both of those things are part of the conditions.
So I have another trade. The Leafs acquire EK.
Ooh, no.
Dear God.
With 25%. With 25% retention from San Jose.
Okay. So they made like 8 something? Okay.
In exchange for TJ Brody, Fraser Mitten. I don't know who that is.
Fraser
Okay.
Minton's a good prospect.
Yeah.
Matt Murray,
Okay.
and your first round pick, like the 28th Boston pick.
It's
No,
actually
because
not that
if they-
expensive,
if-
but I still wouldn't do it.
if they want to clear out Matt Murray, they will clear out Matt Murray for a 7th round. Like they'll get rid of him. They did it to Mrazek already. Kyle Dubas. Brad, they know what they're doing. I have faith that Brad knows, when the dead horse is already beaten, dude.
You're not
It's
going to take
time.
a potentially 3-time Norris winner for Matt Murray at a first, essentially?
No,
I
because he's
think-
making $8 million for 4 years, and he had an outlier. If he had done this 2 years in a row, you think about it.
Yeah.
We have one Eric Carlson season and a bunch of I'm bruised and broken, I can't skate backwards seasons.
I would rather buy low on players like that than buy high, because like Eric Carlson,
That's a good point too.
dude, he had a fantastic season. And probably Norris. Is he going to win the Norris? Maybe, probably.
Probably top 1 or 2, but yeah.
I would say he's
say
in
yeah.
the top 3 for
Yeah.
sure, right? The last time he had a season like this was what, 2018, 2019? I think it was 2018.
Honestly, I
When
think this is probably his best season since like a Senator season.
Maybe since that cup run,
Yeah.
right? His
The,
personal best
Eastern
season is
Conference
probably since
final.
that cup run. So that's
But and
that's
San Jose's
half a
retaining
decade
salary
now.
too? I don't know.
But like, no, so put it to you this way: you can make that Carlson trade, or you can make the trade that Carolina made for Burns last year.
That's true.
Take that Burns trade every single day of the week. Every day of the week. I also don't think Carlson's a good fit for Toronto. Some team might make that trade, and it might be great for them. That is not the fit. Is
he
the
gonna
fit.
play with Morgan
He
Riley?
would get
like,
destroyed.
two
Like in terms of
offensive
the
guys
media,
like that?
yeah, like he would get burnt alive by the media.
I have a quick yes or no, just fast because we're almost done. Travis Konecny to Toronto for
Yes.
Timothy Liljegren. Oh, okay. Timothy Liljegren, Matt Murray, Nick Robertson, and a first round pick.
Yes.
Oh, freaking day! That's an incredible trade for us.
Dude,
I love that.
I'll be the Uber X. I'll drive all 3 of those players to Pearson Airport personally. I'll be the chauffeur.
Nicky Robbie a first, and who else
Liljegren
did you
and Matt
say?
Murray.
Oh,
Okay,
and
so
Matt
Nicky
Murray,
Robbie-
dude, cap dump.
Yeah,
Oh,
cap
fantastic.
dump, and you're giving up Nicky Robbie,
Give it to me.
Liljegren, and a first for Konecny. I'd probably do Nicky Robbie, Liljegren, and the first for Konecny straight up without the Matt Murray stuff involved. You throw that in. Whew. But hence, this is why it's a Leafs trade.
That is a
why the
Leafs
Leafs
fan
trade made it.
trade. That is a Leafs
Actually,
fan trade if I've ever
yeah.
heard.
Well,
So-
I see one more on my list here. TJ Brody and Mitch Marner to Washington for Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson.
I thought you were
Dear
gonna say
God, what the? That's a
I thought you were
terrible
gonna say for
trade.
like some 4th line guys. I was gonna say, Brian,
No, wait,
is that your
this was a
burner
Leafs fan
account?
trade?
Yeah, all of them I picked
Oh,
from
Oh,
Leafs
yeah.
fans.
God. Whoever this Leafs fan is,
I
this
think-
is not
I
it.
think I
This
know.
Is,
I
he's
think I have
this
an
is a closet
idea.
Caps fan.
Yeah,
This guy,
I have
this
an
guy-
idea of where this Leaf fan lives, and it's definitely not
What do you
anywhere
think
near
is-
Toronto.
That's
Okay,
That's a
see.
Coburg. That's a Coburg Leaf fan right there.
The demographic of this guy, he's not our age. So maybe
No,
twice
he's a little
our-
bit about
He's
30 years
See,
old.
okay,
probably
but
double our
Here's
age.
the problem though. You're getting Wilson and Kuznetsov. Those two are not the same. Those are very
No.
not the same. It's oil
Okay.
and water.
Well, I guess that wraps it up here because we're almost done.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fubo's TV. They provided every single Hockey Night in Canada on, I guess, the whole
Yeah,
playoff.
shout out to
really.
them, dude.
And then
Whole season.
shout out to NHLShop.ca. Shout out to Razor. And check out our UFA articles. They're doing really well. So hopefully
Yeah.
they'll do. Hopefully
Wait,
the
yeah.
other ones come out soon.
This one's
We
so
need a
this-
jersey name real quick. What's
Yeah.
the Brian? What jersey can I buy?
Barbashev.
At
If you
NHL
want to
shop?
buy a Mitch Marner jersey, go.
I was gonna say Barbashev or
yeah.
Oh,
Mark
Barbershop.
Stone.
Okay. Anyway,
Buy a
we'll end it
Mark
there.
Chicago
Stone.
Blackhawks barbershop jersey.
Oh,
We'll end it there.